Welcome back to another episode of FineScale Modeler's New Product Rundown One Shot. We've got a really big and exciting kit for you this time. It is Kitty Hawk's 1/32 scale Mirage 2000C, the single seat version of the French fighter. Let's take a look at what's inside this box because we got a lot to get through, so we're not even going to bother joking around about it. Tim Kidwell, who's operating the camera, suggested I say that there were 2,000 parts in here, and that's what this means. But I don't think there's quite that many, but it is a big box. My stash.
What is in there?
My guess is the clear parts or resin. The clear parts are probably in this nice box here.
There's a lot going on.
Yep.
I can't, in fact, try and get you in the shot. I can't get far enough back, really.
All right, well, in which case, Tim, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and open up and you can focus on the parts, not on me. How about that? They want to see the parts. They don't want to see me. I've got a face made for radio. Oh. All right, let's look at these. These are large fuselage halves. We have nice recessed panel lines. Can you see this, Tim? Mm-hmm. Really sharp. We've got some tiny rivets there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, capture the shape of the wasp-waisted Mirage there. The forward fuselage, we have on this same sprue, it looks like, there's actually pretty good detail. I didn't see the belly from...
Yeah, we're looking at the underside of the
Yeah, there's some nice open vents there.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, that's a sharp piece of molding. Yeah, at the back there. Looks like it might be chaff dispensers or something. And then we have the cockpit tub, which has nice molded detail on the side consoles there. Different buttons and knobs and so forth. The instrument panel right here. Looks like they only give you a single instrument panel. I don't know how many versions are represented in this kit. So I don't know if it's appropriate for every version. I'll have to do a little bit of research on that. We have the hatch doors for some of the separate parts that we were seeing up underneath the airplane there. The shroud for the instrument panel there with where the HUD would be is really nicely done. Lots of detail there. That's a good looking set of parts. Well, let's see what else. Oh, we have wings. This is
without which it would not fly.
No, very rarely. But this is one of the great Mirage Delta wings that started with the Mirage 3s and forward. And I always thought it was a good-looking design for an airplane. It's got curves, and so we got nice things there again. Nice surface detail, recessed rivets. Not a lot of panel lines. They've gone with rivets for most of the lines, just a few up here. This looks like a speed brake bay there. This must be the lower half because there's the landing gear door opening. We have what appears that, and we'll get into this at some point in time because I haven't looked at the kit in detail yet, but it looks like the slats, forward edge slats are separate and probably posable. Nice detail along these wing root areas there. And I'm going to flip this over. There's gear bay detail molded on the underside of the wing, which looks really sharp. Also, and they've really done a nice job with, they've bolstered these wing roots so they're good and sturdy because it is a big airplane. Let's see what else we have. Ooh, it looks like we have a pretty detailed engine. I'm going to cut myself with the knife too, Tim.
Don't do it. It hurts.
Yeah, it looks like we have most of the engine. I don't know how much of it's going to be visible on the finished model, but they give you the body of the engines. It looks like that's probably part of the jet pipe molded in there. Let me just flip this over for a second. Okay, here are the jet pipes out the back end. You have the flame holders for the afterburners, the that fan at least, I don't know if that's the front of the rear fan until I look at the instructions, but it's got separate blades, more blades here. This may be fitting on top of that stator blade section there. We also have landing gear, looks pretty sharp. This must be part of the landing gear bay details. More engine details. So it looks like it's got a pretty nice looking engine in it. Like I said, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see once it's put together, but it is there. The fuselage is not split, so you can pose it separated. And it looks like we have a couple of different radomes here. They're molded in one piece. Yeah, we have without and with the lightning dissipators for the radome. You can see those thin lines there, they're not there. There's a refueling probe, which I'm assuming means it's posable. I don't think it's permanently out on this airplane. No, it might be. Yeah, it must be. If it's not, it's posable. That must be the rudder or the vertical stabilizer. I can't tell for sure because it's
it looks like the vertical stabilizer.
Yeah. So again, just these are really nicely molded parts. Nice surface detail. Looks like we have some stores here. I'm just going down through the boxes if the order takes me because I don't want to have to try and work out how to get things in and out separately. So we'll just go this way. These are two sprues that are the same here.
Amount of parts.
Yes. Yeah. It's a big airplane, and you'd want detail in it, and it looks like they're giving that to you. Okay, it looks like we have a couple different types of fuel tanks here. The wasp-waisted type, and then the straight type. Let's see if let me take a look at the instructions for a second here. Oh, they're right here. This may be part of a, no, it's not. It's something else. Let's see. So we have a couple different kinds of fuel tanks there. I don't know if they're, I can't tell from the instructions if they're going to be used together or not. But either way, we have those, a couple different options. The wheels are nicely molded. We've got brake detail on the inside, and it looks like there's even Michelin sidewall placards on the tires.
Yeah.
And part of the ejection seat. That's pretty nice looking. These might be the actuators for the slats there. All right, let's see what else we have. Well, more parts. We're only about 2/3 of the way through the box so far. Okay, these look like the control surfaces amongst other things. Looks like these are probably slats. These will be the flaps, flapperons. And must be the tail, part of the tail of the plane. Looks like it might be an optional section for the tail. But the bays for the speed brakes. You can see the inside of those slats there. Those are nice and molded. Nice detail on the inside of those gear bay doors too. So they've thought about that. Pretty nice. Let's see. Yep. Now we have
It just keeps coming.
more.
It just keeps coming.
Yeah, these look like mostly weapons. We have a couple different sprues of weapons here. Give you a good selection of them. Looks like either a targeting pod or some sort of cruise missile. I'd have to look at the instructions to be sure. Rockets, another missile, looks like air-to-air, probably Matras or something similar. Open rear ends for those rocket launchers, which is a nice touch. Separate fins for most of the missiles, so they're nice and thin. And
Pylons here.
pylons, and looks like targeting pods as well. Different, looks like they give you a selection of targeting pods, which may cover different eras. Okay, I know how to open a plastic bag. Here we go. Yeah, so we got pylons, different targeting pods with different heads. Look at how thick that pylon is. It's molded as one piece. It's fairly impressive. I don't know the French weapons well enough to tell you exactly what these are. I'm sure I can find a list online. The instructions may actually tell me more. Yeah. I don't, again, know them well enough to tell you exactly what the weapons are. We'll post a list of the weapons with the link to the video so you guys can get a clear idea what's in here, because I'm just ignorant of that stuff. And we got one more sprue of plastic parts, or at least gray plastic parts, which looks like optional tail tops, fin tops. The main landing gear over here. Let me flip it over because it looks like we're on the back side. There are some ejector pin tabs that are going to be need to be removed, but that's not atypical these days. Yeah, we have, looks like these are landing gear, bay, walls, so forth. But I'm really interested in the fact that they give you these optional tail tops. So that points to the idea that there are different types. Looks like you can open the radar. This is the radar from inside the nose, the dish from inside the nose, so those parts must be separate and posable. Again, lots of options, good looking parts. There is we'll start with the clear parts. Which are,
Oh, there are more parts.
Yeah,
Oh,
there are clear
there's
parts.
the
There's
little
baggie
little envelope too.
Yes.
Yeah, a little baggie. Can't forget that.
Kitty Hawk does this a lot. They package the clear parts in a separate sturdy cardboard box inside the kit, so there's little danger of it being damaged. So we have a separate windshield and main canopy section, and it looks like lights, various openings.
Got some glare there.
Here, you know what? I will open this up so we can see it a little better. Those are pretty clear. Just look like there's a minor mold seam down the center that, that will need to be sanded out, but that's not that hard. Lights, HUD glass, various parts like that. I'm not sure what that is. That might be part of one of the targeting pods. There's probably glass in here from some of the targeting pods, maybe some of the missiles as well. Some of those have seeker heads that are clear. Those are nice looking clear parts. And I do, like I said, I really appreciate the fact that Kitty Hawk takes the trouble to box them separately so that you can be guaranteed that they're probably going to arrive in one piece when you get the kit, as opposed to them being even just in their own separate bag with the parts. There's always the danger they can be rubbing against something. And let me see what's in this little envelope baggie here that they sent us. They're avalanching, Tim.
Photo etch? No, resin.
I bet it's resin. I'm wondering, Kitty Hawk has been known to put resin pilots. Yep. Get this little baggie out of here. It's so tiny I can't get my fingers into it.
There we go.
Yeah, it's nicely cast.
Oh yeah, can you turn them over?
Yeah.
The other way? That's good stuff.
Yeah, that is sharp. And his right arm is separate, and he's kind of doing a kahuna, signaling something to ground crew.
You should see nice treads on the bottom of his boots.
Really?
Yeah.
Which you'll never see on the when
No,
he's
but
inside, but
the detail.
yeah, really nicely cast. The oxygen mask to his helmet. Is his visor up or down?
It is up.
It is up. So
Yeah,
got,
can you actually, if you hold him just like that, get a good shot of his face?
Yeah, he's got his oxygen mask on, but you do have his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely detailed.
Yeah, he's got his little map holder on his leg there. That is a really nice looking fig. And I like the fact that he's got a little bit of action going on there, so when you get him in place, he's going to be signaling to the ground crew. But there is something else in here.
Oh. And there's more, folks.
Oh, okay. They're going to give you the jet nozzle, the engine nozzle in resin as well. I don't know if there's a plastic alternative or if it's all in resin. It's only resin, but you get nice external detail. But what's really nice is look at the detail down inside that. So you get that detail inside the little recessed section, all those actuators for these flaps on the nozzle, the adjustable flaps on the nozzle. And look how thin that trailing edge of that is. That would be tough to do in plastic and do that well, so I see why they give it to you in resin.
Yeah, just like that. That is a great, all the way down there. Very nice.
So yeah, that's a nice touch too. Nice work, Kitty Hawk. We just put these back so they don't get broken, because I'd hate for that fig to get broken. He's too nice to.
So who are we going to get to review this bad boy?
Well, I was thinking about that. I got a couple guys who might be interested, but I know, Chuck Davis loves 30-second scale. So, I might be.
He has a lot of 30-second scale World War I.
Yes, he loves
this
his.
would go great right next to it.
Super well. Yeah, it'd be great. So I might have to talk to him next time I've got him on the phone. Let's check out the decals. Now this kit has 8 marking options. It's one thing Kitty Hawk is always good for is number of marking options. Now, we do have, while we're in here, we have photo etch parts for the seat belt, seat harness, some other parts. I think mostly for the ejection seat. I'd have to look at them in detail, but
Tilt it back a little bit. There we go, yeah.
get the glare off. So you get photo etch brass for some of those parts.
Nice.
And then man, look at the color in these.
So we got, hang on a second. We've got these 4
Yep.
on this side. Are there
Yeah, it
4
looks
more
like
on
we
the
get,
other?
these are all 3 French on here, including one in the desert, and then a Greek aircraft. And then, you good?
Yep.
There's 4 more on the other side. It looks like we have Taiwanese or Republic of China. Is that French again? No, Indian. France, and then Brazil. So plenty of options there. This is an aircraft that has been exported quite a bit. So you get some colorful options. Look at this. These are from a couple of the anniversary aircraft. I think this is the Greek aircraft. I really like the printing on this is amazing. It's really sharp, and it isn't pixelating that I can tell. It's cleanly printed. And how many colors are in there? There's a dozen or so colors in there. To get that all in register, that's a challenge. We do have a little bit of cheesecake nose art there. And then
Can you turn it around to get that other side there?
And then the eagle on the other side. These are both from the Greek aircraft, I believe. Yes. And then these are both from one of the French anniversary aircraft. It looks like the 50th anniversary of a squadron. Obviously one of the Tiger squadrons. They've got
Can you
different
prop it
tires.
up just a little? So
Sure,
I can,
absolutely.
just like that. That's great.
And there's even an instrument. There are both instrument panels and side console decals here. But the printing on those is just beautiful. It's really sharp looking. They're big decals, so it'll be interesting to see how well they perform over the tail surfaces, because they're kind of got some complex curves to them. And then we have the other decal sheet that has the various markings for the national insignia for the different aircraft, various titles, squadron markings, numbers, stencils. It looks like all of this is for the weapons down here, wing walks. And again, those are really, really sharply printed. The tigers and so forth that have multiple colors all look perfectly in register. So that's really nice print work right there. So that's a pretty looking set of things. They have, typical for Kitty Hawk, they have multiple view color diagrams for the various options. There's that Greek aircraft with two different tails. It's in this fairly standard blue, gray, and gray. That's one of the French aircraft. There's one of the Taiwanese aircraft. Here's the French in the desert. I'm going to flip this back just real quick so you can see there's the top side. I always thought this was an attractive scheme with the two desert colors.
I agree.
Tan and brown. And then it looks like they've got marking options for all of the weapons and stores underneath. So plenty of detail in this. And then the instructions are pretty typical. They look fairly clear. I need to, see how it actually goes together to know for sure how clear the instructions are, but they give you plenty of detail. Several of the bays are open along the side, like the gun bay, some of the avionics bays. So there's other options for display too. All in all, it just looks like a really nice kit. This is a subject that has been popular. We've seen plenty of 48th and 72nd scale kits. It'll be great to see it in 32nd and see how it goes together. Thanks for watching. Thanks for visiting FineScale.com, and we'll see you next time.